where visionaries, entrepreneurs, and artists dream, transform, and create. Rae TV. You are listening to Miracle Moment, and I am your host, Rae Irelan. This is where trailblazing, truth-telling, provocative, and successful entrepreneurs and creatives from around the globe share their number one miracle moment that changed everything, pointing them in the direction of igniting epic soul alignment in their life and business. These renegade souls will show you the behind-the-scenes, real-life magic on how to create a world-class lifestyle of true success. I am so glad you're tuning in. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Miracle Moment. Today is a very special day because I have some dear sisters on here to share about their incredible creations that they've been doing. So they have an animal card deck, like a spirit angels card deck, but it's an animal card deck specifically for kids. And that card deck is called I Can Be Anything. And they have a new game coming out that goes along with the card deck, a game for kids to learn about sustainability and the earth and the animals. And well, I'll just have them share more about that. But the game is called Hi-Yee. And so that is coming out right around the corner. We're recording this and I believe it launches tomorrow. So we are just super excited over here. And yeah, let me introduce these ladies. So we have Sunflower and Marissa Bilbo here. Thank you both so much for being here. And yeah, let's dive in.
Hi, we're so excited to be joining you.
So Sunflower and I go way back. We've known each other for many years through San Diego and connecting community there. And when she first started partnering with Marissa, I just heard nothing but like, this is amazing. This is the perfect partnership. Oh my gosh. And just watching the two of you unfold your creations and, you know, share this passion project that is now turned into this beautiful business. It's just been so inspiring. So tell me a little bit about your story, how you two came to doing this work of, you know, creating games and animal connections for kids, and then how you two came together.
It's such a funny story because Sunflower and I both have actually met in person twice in our entire lives. And we have just had such a strong connection throughout the process of following our passions that everything has continued to feel so effortless and just so much fun. So it makes total sense that we're developing kids games and opportunities for children to really feel fueled by their own passion and feel like they're on the right road to pursuing whatever that is. Yeah, and so we just get to play all the time when we're working together.
I know it doesn't even feel like work. Honestly, like every day I'm pinching myself and I'm like, oh, what a life we've created. You know, living in little Luminaries land is like one of the best decisions I think I've ever made. And it's really neat the way that it kind of started. Marissa called me on the phone one day and was like, I had a dream last night. I had a dream about, do you want to tell this part, Marissa?
Yeah, I just had this vision of this affirmation deck for children that they would almost like carry it in their backpacks or be engaged in with their families before bedtime or at the breakfast table, and giving them the language and the tools to feel confident in their own skin and to use some of the vocabulary and the language that would help them to process really big feelings. And we thought, what better way to do that than through animals? So many children feel this like really innate connection to nature around them. And knowing that Sunflower is such a beautiful artist and is so in touch with how different adults have processed things later on in life, I felt like she and I would just really have the opportunity to help kids early on. I'm a teacher, and so I've been able to see the first steps of that, and in building off of each other's expertise and knowledge, we've created this brand new tool, really, and it really is a like all for the entire family, because we have found so many adults actually that are using our kids deck because it's so accessible and talking about really challenging feelings or topics and just getting into the play zone.
and it's connecting them with their inner child. That's like always the feedback I get from adults. They always say, hey, this deck isn't just for kids. I pull these cards all the time. And it helps me really just, resurrect that child that's living within that we often forget is there and connects us with the play. And so I love what Marissa was sharing, because as a teacher, she obviously is spending so much time with kids and seeing this need. And as a self-mastery mentor, I was experiencing working with adults and supporting them and having breakthroughs about their limiting beliefs that have been so wired into their mind. And so I was feeling like when she called me, I was in a space of really navigating what does it look like to be able to support humanity from the very beginning. And so, because when I was working with adults, it was a tough road to help them rewire their brains that have been maybe wired in a certain way for 20 plus years. And it's like, oh, the unlearning to do to relearn and rediscover. And so when she came to me with that idea and, a huge love for animals, and I have an animal affirmation jewelry company. And so that connection of animals and affirmations, it just was like a huge celebration when I got that call. It was just an all in, let's do this. And that's when we dove in and started creating the I Can Be Anything deck. And that took about probably a year and a half, from creating all the art, creating all the stories, creating all of our discovery book is jam-packed with the tools for these kids that we both wish we had when we were kiddos, because to know how to navigate the breath, to create more peacefulness, to be able to have a gratitude practice and know how when we focus on what we have in life instead of what we lack, it just brings more things to be grateful for into our life. And just all these life hacks and giving them to these little luminaries so that they're standing strong and sturdy and ready to conquer the world and discover their unique gifts.
Oh, it's so beautiful. And I just love that name, Little Luminaries. It has such a ring to it and just really feels like, you're nurturing the lights of this world that are already, so pure in their essence, and how to teach them ways to continue to carve that path of purity and connection. And, something that I would love to hear you both talk about a little bit more is the connection to sustainability too, because I know a lot of people in my community, like, we're earth lovers. Like, I love adventure, I love being out in nature. And I think it does get a little bit scary, when you go to the beach and you see trash everywhere, or you go on hikes and there's plastic, and it really is a huge problem that we're facing. And sometimes for me as an empath, I've noticed the times in my life where I go really deep into the problems of our environment, or if I'm having conversations like with my sister, she does environmental education, I start to get really depressed. And so something that I think is so amazing about the work that you both are doing is you bring this lightness to these extremely challenging and depressing situations of where we're at. And you also present these new solutions of where we can go. So can you talk a little bit about how the game represents that?
Yeah, absolutely. I think when we think about how we make positive change, first, in working with I Can Be Anything deck, children are really embracing all of their beautiful qualities and helping to heal anything that doesn't feel good within them. And once that confidence and that love is really supported, then we're able to give forward and help our environment and help create a more long-lasting opportunity for Mother Earth. And as you're talking about how overwhelming that is, I completely agree. It gets scary to think about what the future looks like for our children and their children. And by taking really actionable steps, we've developed this game, Hi-Yee, which Hi-Yee! what, we're developing the definition of, and it really is just a celebration of things being long lasting and having really positive implications of balance. And in our game, we get to really play with all the animals and help bring them back to restored habitats. And kids are able to work together in this collaborative game to learn sustainability techniques through everyday actionable items. So within the game, we have cards, they're called breaking news cards. And there's a big educational piece for children, not to scare them, but to recognize how significant their actions are and how throwing that water bottle in the trash can has big ramifications. So the breaking news cards talk about animals becoming endangered, or how our human actions are affecting habitats. And then the Earth Conscious Act cards are kind of the reverse, how we can help to bring more health back into those environments, help our animals to improve their numbers and start growing species back, and doing things every day. So maybe that's composting, maybe it's bringing your reusable lunchbox, but helping kids to feel empowered so that they can start to encourage their own family members to make those decisions and their community, and really bring back the power to children to make more positive changes.
Oh, so beautiful. So this next question kind of seems a little silly or like irrelevant to ask you both, because clearly all of this is like miracle work that you're both doing. And I'm sure there's been a lot of miracles that we've seen in your process of creating these games, this card deck, and really the whole world of like little luminaries. But what would you say is like a miracle moment that has stuck out to you, to either of you?
Yeah, it's so funny. It feels like this whole ride that we've been on of building little luminaries has been one miracle moment after another. It feels like the universe or God or whatever you believe in is 100% on our side and supporting us along the path with everything that we're creating. We're birthing a new paradigm. And so I feel like a recent miracle moment for me, and I'm sure Marissa can agree, is when we've been working on this Kickstarter, and the prep to launch a Kickstarter, it can take months if that's the kind of journey you decide to take. And so we have been pouring our heart into all of this prep. And one of the big things that we discussed was how a dream of ours was to get these companies that we look up to, these impact-driven companies that are leading the way in sustainability. And we're reaching for the stars. Like we were like, okay, our dream companies are Pellicase, which I've had a phone case from Pellicase for ages, and the fact that it's compostable, I'm like, wow, you are doing the work. It's True Earth, it's coconut bowls, it's all these like incredible companies. And a miracle moment was every time we reached out to these companies that we felt like we were reaching for the stars, we received a response of a celebration and a yes, we want to support you. We love what you're doing, and we will stand with you. We are an eco defender, and we will stand with you, and let's make a difference. And so it feels like this energy of like side by side is the new way to lead. Like we are in this together. Together is better. We can make such a bigger impact when we are in a place of collaboration. And that's, again, our game is a collaborative sustainability game, because we want to be planting those seeds with our youth, that collaboration, we're moving away from competition, and we're moving into collaboration, and we want to plant those seeds with kids so that they can be thinking in that way of let's work together. And so that was one of my big miracle moments.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, as you're sharing, there have been so many little miracles along the way. And sometimes it's something as small as getting feedback from a parent or, an aunt or an uncle who bought the deck originally for a little luminary in their life. That I remember specifically, someone found a specific card under their child's pillow after they'd had a really tough day. So giving kids these tools that, like, we're navigating all of this together in a really healthy way where we're not just shoving down these feelings, but we're embracing times where maybe you do feel scared and we want to talk about that. Or maybe some really overwhelming thing happened, and giving children actionable ways that they can talk about it and move through it, whether it's through breath work or yoga or just getting silly. And one of our affirmations is I'm safe like a shark. And kids get to develop a fort either out of a cardboard box or pillows or something, and just starting to talk about what all that means. It's just been so rewarding and motivating and inspiring to see how these little, like, all the ripple effects of what we put out there, how it continues to grow.
Oh, it's so amazing to hear. And just like as a new expecting mom, I'm like, oh my gosh, like, of course, well, I already have the card deck for myself, but I'll need to get a special card deck for, my little baby coming. Cause I'm like, wow, just as the kids grow up, as a parent, like, I want them to have those tools. And maybe, how to empower kids to also do this themselves, because of course I can be there, using my card decks, but maybe there's this translation barrier because they're not written for a kid to understand. So it just moves me to hear that story of like a parent finding their son like with like a card under their pillow. It's like, wow, that's the environment that I hope to set up for my future family, that they know that they have these tools and they can do it. They can, be creative with using them. Speaking of the cards, I think you have a card for me, right? Should we do a little card reading?
Yes. All right, I'm shuffling them up. See what card wants to come through for Rae today.
And I'll take the stand as the collective unit. So this card is for also anyone that's listening.
I am forgiving like the dog. Oh, let's see what this has to say. And just to share, Rae, when your sweet little baby comes into the world, you're going to be able to use these cards as flashcards to help him learn his animals. So you can get him going with the I Can Be Anything deck right away.
Oh my gosh, such a good idea.
Yeah, I have an almost 2-year-old, and we've been using the deck, of course, since day one. We actually launched our first Kickstarter for our original deck 2 weeks after she was born. So she's been like in it from the beginning. And yeah, we use them to practice colors, to talk about animal sounds. And now we're already at the point where we're talking about the habitats, grouping animals, like which animals live in the ocean, which animals fly. There's just so many conversation starters when you're even just looking at the pictures. So yes, day one, out come the cards.
All right.
I love that.
Giving like the dog. What has a furry head, a wagging tail, and can't stay mad for long? A loving dog. If you're looking for a dog that will stay mad, you're barking up the wrong tree. Naturally social, dogs have been domesticated by people since we started hunting together 15,000 years ago. Now, dogs and humans support each other in many ways. Some dogs have real jobs like providing emotional support, guarding homes, and tending herds of animals. There have even been dog mayors. Woof! But it's not all work. Dogs love to feel a sense of belonging with their pack. And when they are happy, you will know it. Happy dogs zoom around the yard and wiggle so hard they almost fall over. When we pet our dogs, it releases the love chemical oxytocin for both the petter and the pet. Dogs are loyal friends and love to forgive so they can keep their strong bonds with their favorite friends. And then the play section says, after being upset with a friend or family member, it can be hard to let your anger go and move on. Shake it off like a dog. Stretch in downward dog pose or get on your hands and knees and shake, shake, shake. Let the frustration fly away and set an intention to move forward. Say, I am forgiving like the dog. By forgiving others, you'll make yourself feel good too.
Oh, I just love that. Thank you. Thank you. Shaking it off, shaking it off.
I am forgiving like the dog.
So sweet. So where can people continue to follow you? Where can they find out about this Kickstarter? Where can they get the I can be anything card deck, Hi-Yee, the new card game?
Yeah, we keep it simple. Little Luminaries. You can come to our website at www.littleluminaries.com. You can find us on Instagram at Little Luminaries and on Kickstarter as well, Little Luminaries. We're linking as many places as we can, and we would just love to connect with new families, new people who have children somewhere in the universe in their life. It's really just been so much fun to meet new people and to see the deck zoom around in other people's lives.
Well, thank you both so much for being on here. This was a really fun show, so special to my heart. Just while watching Little Luminaries be, founded and created, and what you both just pour so much love into. So I'm excited for future generations to have this game accessible and available to them. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And we'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Yay, bye. Love you.
Thanks for checking out this video. Subscribe and ring the bell if you haven't yet, so you can stay up to date for new episodes coming out soon. And remember to witness and acknowledge the miracles and magic in every moment. This is Rae Irelan, and I'll see you soon.